No room for negotiations, brothers. Let me tell you something about relationships. When it comes to dealing with your girl, you have to understand she has no room for any negotiations on nothing. Nothing. Now, her father can negotiate on her behalf because the father got all the fucking knowledge and all the wisdom, and everything else that he can pass on down to you. But as far as her, she has no negotiations. There's no room for negotiation, especially if you're a gentleman and you're nice up front and you show good faith. And see, this is what you guys gotta understand, young man. Stop being a dirty dog and everything always plays in your favor. So I'm going through a situation currently with an old lady, old shawty. She's immature as fuck. So immature. That's what you're gonna start finding with most of these girls is that they got the immaturity of a 12-year-old. You're literally, you might be talking to somebody who's like 26, 24, 22, but really you're seriously talking to a 12-year-old girl. And that's what all you guys got to remember. Like, keep that in your mind. You're not actually talking to somebody who's actually a reasonable and logical sense. You're talking to a 12-year-old girl who thinks she's in a teenage high school movie drama. And so when you're negotiating, you're talking to this girl, you got to let her know, look, I was charming. I did all these things up front to show you in good faith that I'm actually a decent man and I want to actually take you seriously. And I can almost assure you, 99.99999% of the time, she's gonna do some stupid, immature shit and think she should be treated more like a princess. And see, this is where it actually works out in your favor. Because when she eventually does the stupid ass thing and she breaks it off to show, like, oh my God, he'll come chase me down like a fucking movie, you say, no, no, I'm not chasing anything down. Like, I put all good effort and good faith into you, and you try to play me like a dummy. And see, this is the benefit of negotiating good up front and showing that you're like the gentleman up front, that you're willing to pay, you're willing to treat her with chivalry, everything like that. Because then on the back end, what naturally occurs is she's going to ignore you, she's going to block you, she's going to go through all this bullshit, so forth and so forth. But the reality of the situation is she's going to go back out in the world and she's going to realize, oh my God, all these guys suck. Now, once again, this only works if you're a top flight gentleman. Like, if you're one of the top 10% of gentlemen, which is not that hard in today's age, all you got to do is fucking be in shape, read, write, have a business going for yourself, and just maintain your standard of living. That puts you in the top 10% of dudes. Most dudes can't do that, which is a sad case. Most men cannot stay in shape. They can't read and write well. They can't talk and be civilized, and they can't run a business. So if you can do all 4 or 5 of those things, you're essentially like ahead in the market by everybody. And so anyway, what she's going to realize as she goes out in the world and she realizes there's nothing out there for her, except for guys trying to fuck her all day, or guys simping and doing all this other bullshit. What she's going to realize is, oh my God, I fucked up. I fucked up royally. Like, he was actually like the best I could do. And that's what you have to realize for most of these girls is that if you're actually that dude, you are the best that she can do. And see, that's when most girls don't get in their head that like that she is the like you are the best that she can do. And so what occurs naturally is she starts to think, she starts to realize everybody else is lying to her, and she starts to go into panic mode. Like, you think I can get him back? And then she's gonna come back pretty much crawling to you. Now this is when you have like the prime negotiation leverage, because at that point she knows she can't live without you. She's going to be in crippling depression. And that's what most of these girls, they make emotional choices. And then after the fact, they pretty much put themselves in like in a crippling depression because they realize, oh my God, I lost out on everything in the future. And here's the thing. It usually takes about a week to 2 weeks for them to fucking realize it. Like after that first week, they're like, yeah, I'm bad. They'll try to go out and go like party, get like attention to boost their self-esteem. But then when they go home at night and they fucking cry themselves to sleep and they try to smoke the weed, they realize, oh my God, oh my fucking God, I'm fucked up. I miss him so much. I miss him every day. How do I get him back? And and this is where you gotta go back to my video, spin the block theory. They always spin the block. It might not be a week, it might not be a month, it might not be a year, but at some point in fucking time, they always spin the block because they got no better options. And so when they look through their fucking Rolodex of the phone contacts and they realize they got nothing out there, they gotta call you back. Especially if they got a good father figure, they got somebody to actually like lead them and direct them. Because like if they don't have a good father figure, usually what happens is they go down the road of like darkness. But if they got a positive father figure, the father's gonna look at them like, look, girl, you gotta go fix it. You fucked it up. You go fix it. And so when that occurs, and she comes back, you got to take her back. But you take her back under the conditions where she's basically just, she has to work forever for you. And that's the best part. That's the best part of being a negotiator and being a man in the driver's seat of your life. Because what you realize is every woman that you come across, you can pretty much negotiate that deal every single time. And the longer she waits and the more crazy shit that she says, because that's what they do. When they're emotional, they say whatever the fuck. They don't think about it. It's just fucking reaction. Motions. But you gotta stay steadfast. Don't get mad. Don't get angry. You sit down and you think about it. You say, okay. All right. That's what you say. Okay. And you don't worry about it. And then you just hold it against her. You keep a logbook of all the crazy, wild shit. You say, this is why you're doing this for this insult. This is why you're doing this for this insult. This is why you're doing this for this insult, for this action, but so forth and so forth. And you have a whole logbook. The same way that these girls screenshot your shit and try to use it against you, you do the same tactics. But you do it with love. You don't do it with anger. You don't do it with animosity. You do it with love, fairness, and justice. You do it with fairness, justice, and equality. And with love. Because once again, you're not doing this to spite her, not doing this to anger. You're just saying, look, you said some wild shit about me that's not even fair. And I can't hit you. I can't yell at you. I'm not going to scream at you. But what you can do is if you want to deal with me again, because they're always going to come back, because they got no other place to go. Especially if you really touched her soul like that, where she's like heads over heels, she can't stop thinking about you. Listen, you say you owe me for this, and this, and you keep an inventory. And then that's how you fucking win the relationship. See, you got to understand as a man, if you're doing the right steps and you're doing the things you're supposed to do, you always win. It's impossible to lose as a man. It really is impossible to lose if you're doing the right things. And what you got to understand is all women are always losing. Women are always, every single day that they're alive, they're losing. Unless they got a man to help protect them and guide them and show them the right way of life. But every single day that they live and they try to figure out choices on their own, they're going to fuck shit up. Because they're emotional beings and they don't make good choices. And that's just the way of the game. It's the way of life. And that's what nature designed it. For man to be the rock, steadfast man to keep things in order. And for women to be disorderly and have to go find a man so they can have order in life. And that's why you see America so fucked up right now. Because we got a bunch of men who are not keeping order. And we got a bunch of disorderly women. And so if we want to correct the system, we got to have more families. We got to have men taking women and giving them order and structure so they can then be productive citizens. Because if not, they're going to behave like 12-year-old girls in a drama movie. And that's what they do. And that's what you have to accept, is that we're dealing with a drama queens that got the immaturity of a fucking 12-year-old. It's like a Hillary Duff movie back in the fucking... It really is like a... whatever it's called. Nickelodeon, Disney Channel. That's what they believe. That's in their mind. You're like the big bad wolf. And she's like the darling princess that needs to be saved. And you got to crush that fucking reality because that movie is not real. And she has to realize that she is the actual big bad wolf, and you're actually the good guy. Like, look, you're fucking stupid. Stop. Listen, just follow what I tell you to do, so you don't have to fucking fuck your life up. And if you can do that, you're gonna have a successful relationship. But just remember that you're better than her at all times, and never let her try to convince you that you're not and that you need her. You don't need her. She needs you more than you need her. Always keep that in mind. That you're the one providing all the benefits, and she's living off the benefits, and all that you ask in return for all these great benefits that make her life fucking the greatest thing ever. Like, she gets to have a family, she gets to go live in a nice home, she gets to be rich, she gets an interesting man she can talk to and bounce ideas and just listen to. All she has to do is contribute about 20% into your life and follow. And then here's the thing, she don't have to really do the 20%. She don't have to think of it. You already thought of the idea. Look, I got 100% of the spread. You come in, I cover 80. You do this little 20% to the best of your abilities, and we're all good. And that's how life works. It's that simple. But most women don't get it because most women, they date losers. And they take up loser habits and loser mindsets. And then they become losers. And then they blame the world on their losing them. But hey, man, that's life.